Can we all agree that Nickelodeon caused a lot of changes of the Monster High dolls for G3? Hello, kings, queens, and non-binary bards. I'm Ace. Welcome back. This is part 2 of Monster High versus Nickelodeon in a way. If you haven't seen part 1, I suggest after this video or before this video, you check it out. It's not really in order. It's another topic about how my possible explanation of why Mattel chose Nickelodeon to create their show and content. But in this video, I'll be talking about kind of my thoughts on Monster High Gen 3 overall, and mostly the show itself, but also talk about the dolls. Since the partnership between Nickelodeon and Mattel, Monster High's characters and stories changed a lot, even the line itself. To me, Monster High and Nick's Gen 3 dolls are no longer a fashion doll line per se. Maybe it will become more as more series come out. I mean, we already kind of seeing it as a fashion line more from the Skulltimate Secrets and the upcoming ball, Monster Ball. But based on the core and creepover dolls that we've gotten, they're not fashionable. Their shoes are mostly sneakers, not a lot of heels, and their outfits are less campy, and they just don't scream high-end fashion clothing anymore. A lot of their clothing have a lot of motifs from their monster. We can definitely tell from Claudine doll, and you can still see it through Draculaura. There's a lot of bats and just printed on fabric. Obviously, the characters look very different from Gen 1. In Gen 3, they are corresponding to the characters' designs of Nickelodeon, and even more for Bionic Frankie, because Nick doesn't have the license to green skin Frankie that Universal does. So, based on what we have as of now, and especially from the show, I have a lot of pros and cons. Pro, Frankie is non-binary. Whether or not Mattel was going to have Frankie non-binary with or without Nick, it's nice to have a non-binary doll and an animated character, also showing more non-binary outfits. While they have some feminine pieces or color to their clothing, they aren't hyper-feminine nor masculine compared to their friends. Con, Frankie's freaky flaws and others' freaky flaws. One thing I don't like is the overuse of their freaky flaws. It's cute that Frankie has a lot of bionic limbs and we see Frankie swinging around the halls, but it's getting too old. And this is not just them, it's all of the characters. In Gen 1, I loved how everyone had something special that each of them have to handle their quirks differently, but could share their problems as a whole. It added to the story, influences the characters' behaviors, actions, relationships, and can add character growth or decay. Having the whole school using their powers 100% is boring. It's like if MHA, My Hero Academia, characters were 100% powerful and skilled. The story would have been bland and really hard to continue unless the genre changed to a comedy like One Punch Man. Pro, different body types. I really love the different body types and excited to see other Gen 1 characters as Gen 3 dolls. I have a feeling that Gen 3, based on the show, that Howling will have the same body type as Draculaura, and maybe Skelita will have the same body type as Cleo or Claudine based on the concept art. I think we can all agree that the different body types just perfects Monster High as a whole, and frankly was missing in Gen 1. So I do hope that we see different body types on the Mansters. Con, loss of accents. Now, it's not the voice actor's problem, it's more of the creator's decisions. I wish there were more monster accents in the characters. I really miss them, especially Draculaura's Transylvanian and Ghoulia's zombie accent. And yes, Ghoulia did say a little bit in her zombie accent, but it's not like Gen 1 Ghoulia. These accents just add more to the diversity, even if their monster type isn't real, but it just implies that the school is diverse, not just by looks. Also, as of now, without monster accents, the voice cast sounds a little bland. Their voices amongst each other just aren't distinctive enough. In Gen 1, even without accents, the voice actors know how to make their voices extreme and cartoony. That makes them distinctive amongst the other VAs. Now, it is a different case for one voice actor and there are multiple characters they voice, but you get what I mean. At least I hope. It's hard to phrase it, but in general, I hope as the show goes on that we hear more monster accents. Thankfully, in the show, Abby still has an accent, which is good because I think I would have been really upset if she didn't. Pro Gen 1 characters to Gen 3. I am very happy that we are getting old characters like Helene, Finnegan, Iris, and Manny. And we already know there's more coming, like Scolita, Persephone, Meowdy, and Twyla. I think we all just hope that we continue to have more Gen 1 characters to Gen 3. In Gen 2, they just sabotaged themselves by getting rid of many important characters and created new characters that were boring to watch. Please don't get upset at me if you are a Mona DK fan. Con, Forbidden Witchcraft. I am very upset about this because it just doesn't make sense, and I think we all agree, Gen 1 fans, that it just doesn't make sense. To me, it's a stupid way to make monsters hate humans more. Witches are kind of like monsters, and they were considered ones in Gen 1 through Cast of Fierce and Spelldun. So, since witchcraft is forbidden, what does that mean for Cast of Fierce and Spelldun? Probably getting rid of them. I just don't know how they will add them to the cartoon without retconning it. But hey, maybe we will see them in the upcoming episode where Draculaura goes to witch camp, apparently. Con, no continuity. Between the show and live-action movie, for instance, Claudine's mother sounded like she was dead in the movie more than in the show where it just sounds like she left and her dad believes she's still alive. In the movie, the way that Claudine and her dad talk to each other about her mom sounds like there's no hope at all that they will see her, ever. Also, Deuce and Claudine. In the movie, they were really pushing them to become more than friends. They even had Cleo and Deuce break up to set up Deuce being single. Deuce and Claudine had a song together, they saved each other, and the creators had Claudine even change her behavior to crush behavior whenever Deuce comes up to just let the audience know that they will be a thing. But in the show, they're more like friends, and I see more chemistry between Frankie and Deuce and Claudine and Cleo, honestly. But it's early to say, and maybe in the upcoming episode, The Monster Ball, according to the synopsis, that Frankie and Cleo will become a thing, and maybe Deuce and Claudine will become a true canon and fit the continuity. Con, Miss Bloodgood. I don't like how Bloodgood is now judgmental and less open to her students, both show and live-action movie. She was very unwelcoming towards Claudine in the movie, and in the cartoon she is colder than her Gen 1 counterpart. In Gen 1, she didn't talk badly about humans unless they were endangering her students. Somewhere in Gen 1 lore, I think in the chapter books, she was characterized as part of the monsters who believed they should come together and share each other's differences. But how she acts now does not embody her Gen 1 beliefs. Thankfully, she got character growth in the newest episode with Abby, and she became more welcoming. While this video sounds more negative, I am still excited with Gen 3 and I like how it's going. And because I'm starting to like and accept the new stories and characters of our Gen 1 characters, I do feel like this franchise and reboot is going to be successful. Once again, please take this as a grain of salt, and this is just a video. Thanks for watching. Ace signing out.